Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I am back again doing your mid-April 2016 monthly tarot horoscope. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Gemini. And my lighting's a little bit weird because I think it sort of like wants to rain outside, and I recorded natural light, so you know, just bear with the lighting situation going on in here. So excuse me. Anyways, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I do have a website for those of you who are interested in having a private reading. Definitely check it out, oracledaphne.com. And you're more than welcome to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com, and let me know if you'd like a private reading. All you need to do is check out my calendar to see what my availability is. Please remember to not post a comment on my calendar or my website. You can't book a reading through there. I'm just reminding everybody. It has gotten better where people are not posting those comments, so I really appreciate that, so thank you. And posting comments on my YouTube channel is totally different than posting comments on my calendar or my website. I wanted to make that distinction just in case people were just hearing comments, and it's not comments in general, it's just my people are thinking that they can book a reading through my website and they can't. So I'm just reminding everybody and kind of making that distinction. So yeah, and then what else? So I am going to be back again doing the regular videos. These are just for the last couple weeks in April. And again, this is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Gemini. And I'm ready to lay out the spread here. So let's see. And I am back using my regular Shadowscapes deck. It's by Stephanie Pre-Moon Law. For those of you, a lot of people have contacted me about this deck. It's very interesting. The artist is Stephanie Pre-Moon Law, and Pre-Moon Law, I can't really say her name quite right. And she has a really cool website actually, and she's an amazing artist, so definitely check her out. Her website, I think, is shadowscapes.com. It's very, very beautiful. She has a whole bunch of other kinds of work too, which I am really impressed with constantly, because she's always updating her website and doing more things. So definitely check it out. Now, my deck, for whatever reason, and I don't like it when it does this, came out pretty much in most reversals. I'm actually going to read it in reversals. There's only a couple of upright cards in the spread. I thought when I shuffled that everything was upright. Some things came out in reversals, and then I said, okay, I'm going to turn this right side up, and then everything else came out in reversals. So we're just going to kind of go with it, okay? The first card straight out of the deck here is the Queen of Swords. And I feel like this is you, Gemini females. You know, I typically see this as a Aquarius or Capricorn female. However, because it's a Swords card and because I'm reading for Gemini, I feel like this is you. You are, I want to say, quite bitter, okay? In the middle of April, or right around the time that I'm posting this, at that time, okay? And you know, in some cases, this is where, you know, if you're a Gemini guy, it could be a very feminine, you could be a very feminine Gemini guy, but I feel like more so, this is, if you're in a relationship with a Capricorn or Aquarius female Gemini guys, that's more applicable, okay? It's connecting to the Two of Swords, aka the Bloody Wanker card, but in reverse. In the upright, the Bloody Wanker card is a card where someone sees the potential. Okay, so there's someone holding out their heart here. Someone sees the potential for a relationship with this person, with another person, or it can be you in some cases where you're emotional and available. You don't want to have a relationship. If that's the case, that may be the case, especially for Gemini guys. You may be in a place where you don't want a relationship, you don't want commitment, you just want to be single. Or you don't want commitment with a certain person, okay? Most likely, I want to say more so, okay? Gemini females, you are holding out your heart and looking at a relationship for as if there's potential, okay? You see potential, or you see some good in someone, okay? But you're not understanding. I feel like you're not getting it. I think the message here from this person is that they really don't want to be in a relationship with you. They really don't want to talk to you. You may be that person, okay? Guys or girls, Geminis, okay? You may be that person. You really don't want to talk to somebody, okay? There may be someone that you really just, like, you are really officially over, okay? It says to reject love because you're afraid of getting hurt. This is pushing somebody away. This is, really, or lashing out at somebody because they've gotten too close to you. This is, taking your anger out on somebody because they've gotten close. This is where someone's not getting the message that they don't want a relationship, and they get hurt because they've tried to push forward so many times. So it's sort of like the person that says, why don't you want a relationship? What's wrong? Like, you don't want a relationship. Why? Because I'm ugly, because I'm smell, because my hair, like all that stuff. And if you go there, that person's gonna be like, yeah, you're right. I don't like you. I don't want to have a relationship with you. I never wanted a relationship at the beginning with you. This whole time I've just been banging you, and that's it. That's what you're going to get from this person. And that's going to be hurtful. It's all hell. Okay. So best case scenario, this is where you're not talking to somebody at all. You completely disconnected. This is the silent treatment for a long time. This is where you don't hear from someone for a very long time. This is where it's best if you let the sleeping dog lie, okay? Because if you wake the sleeping dog, it will bite you, okay? Do not take the book off the shelf again. Do not try to get back with an ex. Do not... I feel like you are not over this person. You are not over. You're trying to get over. It's interesting I say that because you have the Three of Swords in reverse, okay? Three of Swords you can see. Now in the reverse, the swords are falling out, but the swan is still bleeding, okay? Bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. But at least the swords are coming out and you have the ability to try to heal, okay? This is a time of healing, to take time off to recover from the death of a loved one, or moving on from a bad relationship to a better relationship, okay? So I want to say you need to get over this person. There's a person that you need to get over. Do not keep texting them. Do not keep calling them. Do not keep emailing, Instagramming, whatever, Facebooking. No, like, you need to stop. Because the more you push forward and you don't let it go, the worse it's going to be. Because that person will eventually lash out at you or block you in whatever way possible, and you're going to get your feelings hurt, okay? More than they already are, okay? Don't take that next step. Don't continue on. That's the message. You have the Four of Pentacles in the recent past, which is financial issues, being worried about money. This can be penny pinching in some cases. This did come up for Aquarius. So you may have some, Gemini, you may be watching because you have some strong Aquarius in your chart, or you may have some Capricorn in your chart as well. Or Leo, because we have the Sun card crossing you. This is a strong fire element here too. It's sort of like, the Sun in reverse is getting sick because, or not feeling good because you're really, really drained. This is to go back or to go home. This is retreat, okay? Retreating, okay? Some of you may be going home for a visit mid-April, or you may just be really, like, going through you maybe just be very, very drained, or going through like a time of upheaval. I feel like you are, like, in some cases, trying to get over a relationship, trying to get over a breakup, but it was a bad breakup. It was a bad relationship. It went to shit. And I feel like in some way you're not able to really move on from it, and you're not emotionally available to others, okay? And if others were to try to get close to you, you would lash out. You would tell them to go fuck themselves. You would tell them to go to fuck off, basically. And ladies, you have to remember, okay, so Gemini ladies, if you're dating someone in the beginning of a relationship, they're going to tell you if they want commitment or not. If they tell you they want commitment and then you proceed with caution until they tell you that they want to be exclusive with you. Unless they use those words, chances are they're sleeping with somebody else, or they're not looking for commitment. Even some guys tell you they're looking for commitment even when they're not. So it's confusing for some women. But some women get into relationships even when a guy isn't looking for commitment because they see the potential. Or, best case scenario, they get into a relationship and they get to a point where the guy doesn't realizes he really just doesn't want a commitment, and he kind of backs off, and leaving the girl just going, okay, well, what just happened? And someone gets hurt, okay? And it's just messy, okay? It's just kind of a messy situation. I do feel like for those of you who are single, the money issues and the issues about feeling really drained, even potentially getting sick, I feel like you do need to kind of retreat here. You need to retreat. You need to kind of get out of something that's not healthy for you, okay? You also need, you have the card about moving. This is in the reverse. Okay, so the moving card's the foundation. In reverse, though, it's needing to move. It just looks like this. It's not really, the picture doesn't really help much. It's not wanting to move, but needing to anyways, okay? Not wanting to move on, okay? So there may be some, in the distant past, you may have moved in the past. You may still need to move. I feel like you need to move on. Okay, that's the main thing. For those of you who are single, I feel like there is something about moving here, whether it was a past, whether it's a present need, or whether it's a future need. I feel like it's still sort of in the background, it's a foundation. So there's something here about wanting to move on, wanting to go forward, wanting to do something different. Or I should say, needing to move forward, needing to do something different, but you don't want to, not wanting to do something. It can also mean like plans don't really get off. Some plans may have not gone off the ground. So for whatever reason, it's sort of like you want to move. Some of you may not want to move, okay? But some of you who do want to move, for whatever reason, the plans don't materialize. So things don't actually happen. So it's like you may have looked for an apartment, or you may have looked for a house, you may have wanted to buy a house. You and like say a partner, like you may have been looking for a house, and for whatever reason, you couldn't find the house that you wanted. So it didn't happen. Or you were trying to sell a house and or buy a property, and it just didn't go the way you wanted it to go. This is doing things where they're not quite finished, leaving things unfinished, leaving things undone. Things don't really go as planned, or they kind of go awry. Also, the words awry come up with this card, okay? So this whole thing about finances, this whole thing about needing to move on from, I don't know, I want to say like a chrysalis state, like the place, where you're in a cocoon, that point where a butterfly's in a cocoon and it needs to and it's sort of going through metamorphosis. I feel like you're going through that kind of metamorphosis. Like it's sort of like you're in there and you're moving around. You're like, I want to get out of here. I want to do something, but you just can't quite make it happen. There isn't much here about career. You may be in relationships going through hell, And in, your living situation, you're also kind of going through hell too. Okay. So for whatever reason, you may be living someplace you don't want to live, but you're finishing out your lease, or you may be renting a house, which you don't really want, but you can't find another house, or you don't have the money to get a down payment for the house that you do want, or, something like that. This is also making plans and breaking them, making plans and things don't really go your way, okay? So maybe it is possible, going on this relationship tangent again, if you're in a relationship, it could be all of a sudden that you have trust issues kind of materialize, and you had to move out, or you had to get away from a partner, or, you could be watching this for like a Gemini partner who you're kind of curious about, and there may have been trust issues with them, and so they became emotionally unavailable, and you decided to like get the hell out, or you decided to move, or you've decided to take action in some way to move on from a situation that was not good or not healthy in some way. I do feel like, I pulled another card, I do feel like there's an element of sleeplessness, there's an element, feeling sick, there's an element of feeling sick. I feel like if you're going through some kind of heartbreak, it's just very traumatic for you. Some of you have post-traumatic stress, where any kind of change is traumatic. Any kind of change does get you really messed up, okay? So moving for you is going to be very, very challenging and very difficult. You're not going to want to, okay? Some of you are very driven to be successful, but it's like you're on hyperdrive. So some of you have like ADD, or some of you are suffering from some kind of condition where you're like constantly going all the time. And you're a little bit reckless. Things aren't, again, there's an element of leaving things unfinished, not following through. This is just, to me, this is a mess. This is a mess that requires a lot of cleanup. I would say your life needs a little bit of cleanup, okay? And you may go home because you may have gotten to a point where things have gotten very chaotic, or things feel very chaotic even though they're not, okay? So even a small change, small thing may feel very, very challenging for you. But again, you may move home for some reason because some plans are, aren't really going your way. To me, this is a very challenging spread. There's just a lot of individual elements. I want to say for most of you, these are relationship elements that are causing the biggest problem, and they're but also you have this financial concern, you have this post-traumatic stress concern. Any relationship that you get into, and if you do have post-traumatic stress, is going to not work out. Why? Because you're going into a relationship. Most people that have post-traumatic stress in relationships end up getting into a relationship that feels safe, which is someone who's also in another relationship. So there's cheating going on. So there's trust issues. There's just naturally there is. So you need to get to a point where you've resolved your post-traumatic stress issues and healed, and work on healing those things so that you can attract and get into a healthy relationship where it doesn't feel unsafe, where it does feel like it's safe to be vulnerable, it's safe to have a conversation, it's safe to have good communication, it's safe to feel loved. I feel like ultimately there's an element here of lack of safety, in general, lack of safety and security in relationships. You're looking for security. It's interesting. I wrote a little segment about relationships and how, I don't know if I had a Gemini. I don't know if I read it to a Gemini client. I can't remember. But it was about longevity. And I recognized in my writing, I was writing about longevity. And relationships have nothing to do with longevity and security. Life is not a secure ride. Life is to get a helmet, strap yourself in, get some handcuffs, get some, hand ties, get to the chair, hold on for the ride. Really tuck yourself and get a blanket, tuck yourself in, because and get some soda and some chips. That's life. It's not an easy ride, and it's not one that really offers anyone security or safety. So if you go into relationships looking for codependency, looking for security, looking for safety, you are asking for trouble, because in the end you will be disappointed. In the end, you will be disappointed in your partner. In the end, you will realize that relationships are balanced between the 0 and infinity, okay? Somewhere in the middle. It's not about infinity forever, and it's not just this one moment, just not one thing. Relationships are continuous, right? We try to continue them. Some relationships last longer than others, but if you're looking for it forever, chances are you'll always be disappointed. It will never work out. And I know that's going against some people's religion, and I know that's going against what people have some core beliefs of what they've been told about relationships, but I feel like Geminis typically do get into codependent type relationships, and that is something that you need to find the balance between, again, the Sagittarius, which is your shadow, which is the ultimate freedom, being free, not having any restrictions, and being committed to someone, being in a relationship, having a partnership, having responsibilities, and obligations. So it's that striking that balance point, I feel. Overall, I feel like it would be good for you to go home. If you have a chance to go home and you feel safe at home and recharge your batteries, you need to slow down, okay? There's this element about needing to slow down, needing to find safety and security within yourself, not in somebody else, not in external circumstances, but really within yourself. Dig deep, okay? And you need to heal from the past. If there's been trust issues in the past, you need to forgive yourself for being in that relationship to begin with. You need to forgive yourself for, any kind of choice that you made, because Geminis have a difficult time making decisions. Any kind of choice that you made that puts you in that situation to begin with. I also feel like some of you have been in long-term affairs, okay? And these are blocking, this has blocked your blessings and will continue to block your blessings the longer you stay in it. I definitely feel like this is a doubles situation where a married person is involved with another married person, or a girlfriend or boyfriend is involved with another girlfriend or boyfriend of somebody else, okay? So, but I feel like this is more the marriage. I feel like there's someone who's married and there's been cheating going on for a long time. I feel like this relationship comes out of a sense of insecurity and comes out of a sense of recklessness, a sense of restlessness. So Geminis, air signs, typically they can get quite bored. They have a fear of getting bored. So you may have gotten into a relationship out of boredom, okay? You may have hooked up with someone initially because you're like, why not? Let's just fucking do this, okay? But then later down the line, it just kind of continued and you didn't really stop. And it's blocking their blessings, their partner's blessings, your blessings, and your partner's blessings. So it blocks everyone. This kind of, the double situation blocks everyone, okay? So it is important for you to, I want to say, just break it off. It's really coming through very strong. You need to break it off. There cannot be happiness in this scenario. There can't be financial blessings in this scenario. The reason there's a lack of money and heartache and hardship is because of this situation. Now, you may have also been through another situation with your partner. So you may have been in a relationship with someone else, not this, you may not be the affair person, and it was shit too, You have 2 cards here about retreat. 2 cards about retreating. So you need to get the hell out of Dodge, okay? You need to kind of back up slowly and carefully and head back to where you were prior, okay? To me, this is wanting to get away in some way. Escape. You have the Knight of Swords, which you do, Gemini, in reverse. And I don't like this because this is feeling bullied. This is the card about bullying. This is feeling outnumbered. This is feeling to be abused. Again, there's a sense of lack of safety for some of you, okay? And I don't want you to message me about this, okay? Because I can't handle this type of energy. And if I feel like it's too negative, then I will not post the video, okay? So I just want you guys to know, please, like, there may be some circumstances that are really, really dire. And those circumstances, you need to call the police, you need to call your family, you need to get a hold of the, law enforcement, whoever, lawyer. You need to get somebody on your side. There's some element of feeling unsafe, and this is not where I can help you. This is not this is not what I can do for you. But I can tell you that you need to get some help for yourself, okay? In some cases, this is domestic violence. I mean, I just feel like some people, it's domestic violence. It's staying in a relationship past the point, this is you not wanting to give up, okay? You may have some Scorpio or you may have some Cancer in your chart as well. This is also, I feel, a very strong Sagittarius vibe, and I don't know why. I feel like there's a strong Sagittarius vibe. This is where... Sagittarius wants to fix things so bad that they'll keep coming at it and beating the dead horse, okay? Scorpio won't let go until somebody's dead, okay? Or even after that, never, okay? So they never will. So it's a battle which you're not going to win. This is no one winning. War is for losers, okay? So if you're in the midst of some kind of like legal, or divorce or some kind of crisis, you're not going to win. I'm going to tell you that now. You need to retreat, okay? So this is where you're trying to push forward and the universe is telling you to retreat, to go back, to revisit where you were, to go back to where you were prior, to start thinking of things, is this just like Gemini making a poor decision? A poor decision being moving forward when you know you shouldn't, with someone, doing something when you know you shouldn't, and that's when the universe slaps you on the wrist and says, guess what? You cannot go down there. You can't do that, and you knew better, okay? In some cases, you didn't know better, okay? In some cases, you just didn't understand why someone didn't want to be with you, or why someone would play you, or why someone would be in a relationship with you for an extended period of time for the wrong reasons. Why would they waste their time? This is a major issue. I feel like this is a major issue with a lot of people. But I do feel that this is one of your issues. And the outcome is you needing to take the high road, not fighting, okay? This is about being the bigger person. The Five of Swords in the upright is about conflict, okay? In the reverse, it's about putting the sword down. It's saying, you know what? I'm going to live a really good life without you, okay? That's the message here. I'm going to hit the road, Jack, and not look back and, play my music and become empowered and feel good about myself again. That's the message of that card. But going back to this feeling of unsafe, again, there's bullying issues, abuse issues, hospitalization for some people. This is where someone gets really, really hurt. This is really negative. I know it's really negative. I'm sorry. I don't even like to put this out there. I really don't. But for most people, it's just going to be needing to retreat. You're going down. You've been fighting a war that you're not going to win. You've been pushing ahead and pushing ahead and pushing ahead and pushing ahead, and it's not what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Majority is going to be relationships. Some people, it's what you're doing in life, okay? Making poor decisions in life, doing things in life that cause other people harm, that cause other people pain, that cause other people to not want to be around you, or not want to be friends with you, or not, want to support you. This is poor decision making, okay? This is poor. This is you making some very poor decisions, getting into trouble, okay? Needing help to get out of it, okay? And it's funny that I say that, because I look down and what do I see? Is I see the Page of Swords in reverse, which is about being helped out by the tail, okay? You're getting a cat by the tail. This is someone, grabbing you by the tail and helping you out. This is also, being lifted up out of hardship at the very last moment. This is an intervention. This is having a good support system. This is having good friends and family. This is having a lot of people wanting to intervene and help. So for some of you, it's hardcore things, which I'm not even going to put out there, okay? I don't even want to say them, okay? Things that you're doing that this is going down the wrong road. And for those of you, you can use your imagination and figure out what those kinds of things are, okay? It's needing to be, intervention to help you kind of get back on the right road again, okay? And I feel like what you need emotionally is you need support from love and support from others. You need other people to kind of gather around you at this time and hold your hand and tell you that it's going to be okay, and it will, but you need to move on from this negativity. Okay, you need to take the high road. You need to say goodbye, bye-bye, Anybody that doesn't want you is dumb, okay? And anybody that's played you is an asshole. And anybody that's dragged, out a 20-year affair, or dragged out something and then left you hanging, well, they're also an asshole too, There are people that do negative things, and there are people that act in a negative way. They're not, I feel like they're just not conscious of what they're doing. I feel like Gemini, for some of you Geminis, you're the person that needs help, okay? Some of you are not well. Some of you are very, very sick. This is illness, okay? This is being hospitalized because you're ill. You're not taking care of yourself. This is again, domestic violence kind of types situations, or just illness for some of you. For others, it's leaving this negative experience or negative experiences behind you and moving on. Some of you just need some quiet time. Some of you need rest. Like some of you are not getting enough sleep. This is, you're not getting the sleep you need, so you're overtired. Some of you are like spinning so hard and going so hard that you need to be hospitalized because you're dehydrated, or because, you've lost so much weight, or because you're not sleeping. This is checking yourself into like, what are they called? Like a rehab place. I mean, I can't really think of anything else. Some of you need to go to rehab, okay? Some of you are going to be going to rehab, okay? Especially I feel like those of you who are younger Geminis, going to rehab, or just being hospitalized for dehydration, or hospitalized for something that could have been prevented, but you didn't because you weren't getting the sleep that you needed, or you weren't getting the rest that you needed. So I strongly recommend, Geminis, this time around for April, that this is a very stressful time. Okay, very stressful. And you need to, number one, take care of yourself. Number two, eat right and sleep right. If you're not sleeping, you need to go to some place that's quiet, okay, and get away from the noise. If you have a lot of menagerie around you, you need to get away from the noise. You need to take your kids, to auntie someone's house, or, get a babysitter to watch them for a couple of days, and you need to go away, okay? You need to get away. I know, some Geminis don't believe in childcare, but Some people, you know, if you have a crazy household, need to kind of get a control on it, because I feel like you're getting eaten alive. You're getting eaten alive because you're not able to stop. You're not able to slow down. Your mind is going. Your body is burnt out and you need to rest. Either you're going to be sick and then hospitalized, or you're going to get sick and then there's going to be some kind of intervention. Okay. This is also, again, feeling very out of control. So this could be the drunk driver. Some of you, you know, do not drink and drive. Okay. I'm telling you this now because it's not going to end well. Okay. There was another sign that got, I think it was a car accident. I don't remember which one it was now. There was another sign that I did say that there was a car accident situation happening. So I want you guys to be very careful when you're driving around. Okay, do not drink and drive, because this is not the month for it. Okay, I'm telling you now, it's just not. It's not the month for it. Period. Ever. But for you, you need to be very careful, because I feel like there's recklessness here. There's people that are going to get hurt, and I don't want to see anybody getting hurt. You know. There's a lot of major lessons and things that you're going to learn this, you know, in the end of April. By the end of April, I'm going to, you know, I feel like you're going to come out of it, but I feel like it's, getting there is going to be a process, and it's going to be challenging. You know, I did say, it's interesting, I'm remembering now, I did say that for Geminis, the month of April was going to be a really stressful time. And I'm not sure why, okay? I did say that. I just remembered. I don't remember anything from my videos, but I remember that. And I remember on Twitter I said a special prayer. And I am going to say a special prayer again and put that also on my Twitter. I'll just put a little note that said I said a special prayer for everyone that's a Gemini or who's in the life of a Gemini, because Geminis are going to be going through some really tough stuff. This is really tough stuff. Some of you, it's your children. It's your children that need to go to rehab. They need to get help. They have, you know, drug and alcohol problems. I don't feel like for a lot of you, it's drugs and alcohol. Some of you, it's getting caught up in the wrong crowd. Some of you, it's any kind of, you know, some kind of violence situation happening. And some of you, it's just the deterioration of your overall well-being and health. So some of you, it's like sleep disorders. Some of you, it's like suffering post-traumatic stress in relationships and needing to, you know, rest. Some of you, it's just like you're going too much, like you're the Energizer Bunny, and you're going to hit a wall in which you can't continue, or you're gonna have some kind of collapse, you know. So you need to really, the last couple weeks in April, take care of yourself, okay? And I really just think it's a lesson month. It's a lesson month where you learn what not to do, and you learn it the hard way. And it's learning about what's right and wrong. It's learning about how to take care of yourself. It's, you know, it's interesting. Geminis are always looking for information, but the thing I think that they need to know the most is practical things. It's practical information. And a lot of times they already know, and they just need to like follow that, because I feel like in some instances you're searching for information outside of yourself. But what you really need to do is take better care of yourself. What you really need to do is do the thing that maybe you may be preaching to other people. You know, they say practice what you preach, and it's hard, but I feel like that's what you need to do. You already have the answers. The answers are inside you. That's the main thing. They're there. So listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. If a situation feels unsafe, for some of you, like this is going to be an issue specific. I feel like it's very specific. Some of you are going to a place that's very unsafe. Okay? Get the hell out. Don't fucking go. Okay? If you're thinking about doing something dangerous, don't go. You're asking for trouble. If you're doing that and you know, then you're making a poor decision, and everybody's going to have to help you out because you decided to go bungee jumping, or you decided to go jump out of an airplane, or you decided to go do something reckless. And I think that those are kind of mild examples, okay? Because not everybody dies from jumping out of an airplane, but these are the kinds of things that I don't recommend in April, Okay, because I feel like the time here is you making poor choices and needing to learn from those decisions. You can avoid the aftermath by making good decisions and by following your intuition. So on that note, I'm going to let you go. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, Google Plusing. I know this is quite an intense video. I think my April generals were also for Gemini, so you know, message me, let me know what you think. Please do not message me if it is something of a violent nature, or if it is where you need to contact law enforcement. Okay, it's something that I can't handle. The comment will be deleted anyways, but I just feel like I know I address situations like that in this reading, but it's one of those things where I don't want to kind of keep a cycle going, okay? And I don't want to even really put too much of it out there. So I tell you what I see in the cards. That's what I'm here for. But on that note, I prefer if you message me privately. You can always message me privately or send me an email or something like that. But it is heavy energy and I can't really handle it. I only mention it because I'm doing these and recording these, and I don't really filter too much of what I see. I see something and I'm channeling and I tell you what comes to my mind. So when it comes to like the dangerous, violent stuff, it needs to like, I can't really hear about it. It's not something I handle, and it's not something I really want to address. So that said, I'm going to send you big hugs, and I am going to send a special prayer. Whether it's today or tomorrow, whenever I get to it, I will say a special prayer for Geminis, and I wish you, lots of safety, be safe this month, and lots of love. So I send you big hugs, big kisses, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, take care. All the best. Bye.